Welcome back, Wolfpack. Verlis here. We have a battle with Michael. 6v6 singles, and anything can really happen here. The opponent has crazy Pokemon, and Michael has some pretty good Pokemon as well. So I'm wondering what's going to go on. Because I see that Galvantula lead, as well as the opponent packing that Whimsicott. And then we do have the Ninetales open. So bringing in Ninetales to single battles is also pretty crazy. And let's see how this battle ends up going down. There's that Sticky Web lead. We're going to see how this ends up playing for the rest of the game. And then Ninetales, sees the Sticky Web, goes, hey, I'm getting a substitute. You're a Bug-type Pokemon. Things are probably going to go just okay for me. So it gets the Will-O-Wisp. Might have been trying to get a prediction right there on the switch. But the Will-O-Wisp is going to burn Spider-Man. However, that does mean if it is sashed or anything, Sash is going to go away. And Volt Switch right there. So see, the opponent was holding back on the switch, and Ninetales got the early read, but now, is there going to be like potential for a double read? Because that'd be kind of insane. So the opponent bringing a lot of shiny Pokemon, most likely hacked and whatnot, but whatever. So under that sun, that's going to be a just straight up KO onto that Whimsicott with the Flamethrower and with all that. I'm trying to figure out what the opponent was thinking, but you never know. Now Spider-Man comes in. The Volt Switch wasn't enough to break the sub, so this Ninetales got some decent tankiness to it, avoids the Thunder, throws out the Flamethrower, and the opponent just getting walked all over right now. Cannot get some footing against this Ninetales. And now Greninja comes in, trying to deal with that Ninetales, so probably one of the better, more reliable options, using Hydro Pump. The opponent playing a very high-risk game, and it's not working out for him at all. As you can see right there, 2 Thunder misses and the Hydro Pump misses. If you guys ever wonder why I don't put Hydro Pump, Thunder, Focus Blast, Fire Blast on my strategy guides, I just don't think they're reliable enough. Now, most of the time, if you're hitting for a super effective hit, it doesn't really matter. So, yeah, there's a Hydro Pump. It's going to not really do much because it only fades the substitute after finally landing, and the Flamethrower is going to come across onto the Greninja, adding a little bit to that poison, but nothing too insane. Also, will the Sunlight still be out at the end of the turn? Yeah, Sunlight's still up, so Hydro Pump going to take half damage, canceling out that super effective hit. Ninetales knows what's up and gets that substitute as well. And now, there's a couple of options that we got here. Greninja probably going down to Toxic next turn regardless anyways. So Hydro Pump's going to come across, land again, and this Ninetales is going insane right now. Ninetales being very strong against the opponent, and Flamethrower, that's just going to finish off Greninja with that poison. So, or just finish it straight up like that as well. You don't need that poison damage. So Ninetales has 3 under its belt. Sunlight goes away. But a lot of work has been done right now. And, Gyarados comes in. Gyarados can be very ferocious depending on what kind of setup it's going for. Just leads, tries to overspeed, and goes for the Earthquake. So Ninetales goes down, but it's done far more than necessary. And now the rest of the battle is going to be insane. So Cresselia coming in to wall out the Gyarados. Not sure about this. If that Gyarados, let's say if the Gyarados has Dragon Dance, it might be able to catch up. But the Bronzong comes in response to the Cresselia. So there's Reflect. Doesn't really do much against the Bronzong. Cresselia using Sunny Day. So what kind of Sun team is this? Got the Ninetales leading off. Then we also have Cresselia setting up Sunny Day. I didn't pay attention to the rest of the team, but I'm guessing there's some Chlorophyll Pokemon in there. Bronzong getting Reflect for itself. And Cresselia going to switch out. Not seeing too much threat in a Bronzong. Going into Charizard. So is this going to be Mega Charizard? It's going to bring its own sun yet again? Or no, it's a Solar Power. That's what it's like. It's either going to be Solar Power or it can just be a straight up Mega. So it's going to try to use a lot of power in each. Now, I don't really understand Solar Power to a degree compared to like the Mega Evolution on Charizard. That Sun gives you a good boost and then Solar Power just gives you a boost on top of it. So it's kind of like a free choice specs, but you don't really see it play off too much. Now, Bronzong just used Explosion, but Reflect is up, so Bronzong knocks itself out for nothing. And Charizard is still just on the field, going to see how it handles against the Gyarados. So the attack drop doesn't mean much. Ooh, Charizard switches out. I would have expected just being like timid nature, outspeeding, going for something into the Gyarados. But Venusaur comes in and lets the free Dragon Dance setup occur. Alright, so this is what I was talking about. If Gyarados gets set up on those Dragon Dances, it can get scary because one, it's super fast, and two, it can get some crazy damage and coverage going across. So Mega Gyarados is what we have on the field right now. And how's Venusaur going to react? So, ooh, gets the outspeed on the Earthquake. Going to be a strong neutral hit. Ooh, Venusaur uses the growth. But it's not, it's little too late on top of that. Also, the Sunlight Fade is not going to help out Venusaur right there. My guess on that Chlorophyll was going to try to go for the outspeed, but the Dragon Dance just made it not possible. And Venusaur goes down for free. So Cresselia comes back in. Cresselia's like, okay, we need some Reflect. We need to stop this guy. It's not going too well. So Gyarados goes for the Waterfall. Not really doing too much to Cresselia. Cresselia is setting up the Sunny Day, so Waterfall's even going to do less damage now. Cresselia just such a grossly tanky Pokemon. All those stats above 100 in the defenses and hit points. So Leftover's going to come across. Now this is bad. You're letting that Gyarados get free Dragon Dances. It's going to be fast. It's going to be ferocious. So there's the Reflect. After the +2 on that Gyarados, now it's at roughly the original hit point, or the original the attack, because Flood cuts damage by half. +2 means you're doubling the stat. And Cresselia switches out, trying to go for that switch, see how the opponent responds, into the Mamoswine. Whew, this is gonna be an interesting call right here, because Sunlight is canceling out the Waterfall Dance, or the Waterfall damage. Opponent read that Cresselia switch and went for the Dragon Dance, but Mamoswine generally are going to be Focus Sashed. So we're going to see if Mamoswine can turn this one around. Earthquake going to hit on the Mamoswine. Reflect, going to make it to where Mamoswine does pretty good in that. And Response with the Earthquake, going to do a ton of damage. So Waterfall is going to come across, but remember, Waterfall damage, it's going to be enough though, because of that stab on top of the Waterfall, does more damage than Earthquake. Going to come through, even with the sun up, still a lot of damage. And there's Flygon. So that must have been a banded Mamoswine to do that much damage to the Gyarados. So Waterfall comes in, Flygon doesn't go down to that, and just goes for the superpower straight up, wants the damage, wants it gone. And what is it? Cresselia and Flygon are the only Pokemon left? Or, no, Charizard switched out as well. So Charizard's still up, I believe. Now Garchomp versus the Flygon. That's probably not going to go too well. Yeah, switching out, my guess, into Cresselia. And then understanding, like, okay, we need to set up the Reflect, because Garchomp isn't going to be able to do much under Reflect. Dragon Claw, not even that much damage against the Cresselia. That was, what, 58 damage? That was less than a quarter of Cresselia's health, I think. Or roughly a quarter. Oh, man, this is Swords Dance Garchomp, though. You give it an inch, it'll take a mile with that setup. So Cresselia, what's it going to do? It can throw out, like, Icy Wind, maybe? It might have some kind of ice tech to handle the Garchomps and whatnot, which would be pretty solid. So again, the Reflect canceling out the Swords Dance boost. There's another Swords Dance right there. So even then, Garchomp is only at effectively a +1. So Cresselia is going to get a free heal right here. Garchomp's damage is at roughly 80 per hit right now. So Cresselia still has 2 hits on that. And ooh, switches out though. So the full support on the Cresselia. Oh man, there's the Swords Dance though. Like, is that a Scarf Flygon? Because that could really be interesting right there. Yeah, there's the Dragon Claw. So Scarf Flygon going to get the outspeed on the Garchomp with the setup. Not going to have enough though. And returns a ferocious Dragon Claw right back. So with that setup, it kind of shows that. Now if it's a timid Garchomp, it's going to outspeed a timid, whatchamacallit, Charizard. But the Life Orb on Garchomp is actually putting a really good timer on it. Garchomp knows it doesn't want to attack because the Life Orb is going to be too much damage. But he throws out the Dragon Claw anyway. After getting the max attacks, stalls out the Reflect, and just knocks out Cresselia. So the opponent having a good shot right there with what he did. At least try to take out the Cresselia by getting the read on how much Reflect was left. But it wasn't enough in the end because Charizard hanging in there with just a couple hit points and the Life Orb costing Garchomp far too much. So that was actually a pretty good battle. A lot of back and forth and setup. Like that Ninetales really helped in the beginning. Opponent misplayed quite a bit. But then that Garchomp and the Gyarados, they got too much setup and they ran away with the battle until just a little back and forth with that Scarf Flygon kind of saving the day, as well as Cresselia keep creating a lot of setup opportunities. I'd recommend like something offensively because at least you see an Ice Beam every once in a while Cresselia to prevent something. But overall, Sunny Day, very interesting how it would work because like it's really Sunny Day is supporting that Venusaur and yeah, maybe some other kind of chlorophyll Pokemon instead of Mamoswine, but the Mamoswine did work anyway. So a lot of really cool things going on that team. Hope you guys enjoyed the video, and I hope you all get ready for some more Fan Fridays.